A lot of people want to come to Costa Rica to live the Pura Vida lifestyle. But is Pura Vida your vida?
Find out in today's episode of
Polly in Paradise. Can you adjust to the Pura Vida lifestyle? Well, part of that depends on, are you moving for the right reasons? Many expats will leave after moving down here. Within the first 2 years after living here, you probably don't want to spend all the money and time and energy to move here and then find out it's not for you. So think about some of these things ahead of time to decide whether or not you can adjust to life here, whether Pura Vida really is right for you.
So one of the biggest things to consider is that you're moving to Costa Rica and not just away from somewhere else. That may be a good solution for you in the short term, but it can be a very costly one if you find out that you don't actually like how life is lived here.
One of the ways you can do that is spend some significant time in the country before packing up to move. If you can come down here and spend weeks, not days, weeks living in the country, trying to live here, cook here, shop here, live within the country rather than just vacation here, that will give you a much better idea of whether this is going to be right for you. So the first thing you want to do is, if you're moving down here, rent, preferably in different areas of the country. What you think you may want, you think what you may need, and think what you may like may be entirely different when you're living here versus when you're vacationing here. Short-term rentals, you can get through an Airbnb or something. Long-term rentals, if you're going to be spending any time in an area, you want to be able to have boots on the ground and actually go see that before you rent. We've got another video planned where we'll talk more about how to be able to find the best types of rentals, etc. The important take on this is, when you're trying to adjust to life here, you want to go to different places to be able to find if the lifestyle in that area, if the climate in that area and everything is right for you.
So contrary to popular belief, English isn't spoken widely here unless you're in the more heavily touristed areas or if you're around the Central Valley. The Central Valley has a significant portion of the population, and they tend to be a little bit more higher educated. So those people tend to speak more English. But even then, not everybody speaks English, and they don't necessarily speak it fluently. So do you have to learn Spanish?
No, but it's a very smart thing to do. Ticos love it when expats are at least trying to speak Spanish. And everyone I've met has been exceptionally patient in helping you struggle through it and be able to help you speak better.
They are so patient. When we moved here, I didn't know any Spanish. And I have had so many Ticos who have offered to help me, often, to exchange for helping them with their English. And it's great. They're very patient and often won't even correct you unless you let them know that that's what you want. So being at least conversationally fluent will open doors for you, sometimes literally. And those would not be available to you if you couldn't have a more in-depth conversation with somebody here.
And doing little things in Spanish will help you out tremendously. Singing karaoke in Spanish, which Brandy loves to do at our little bar restaurant right down the street. Singing karaoke in Spanish has endeared us more to our neighbors than me buying rounds of drinks at the bar. Although that helped too.
Yeah, they really appreciate that too. So another thing to consider is your travel when you're living here. Are you traveling back and forth to visit your family in your home country or family in other parts of the world? You need to consider how long that's going to take you. If you're willing to dedicate that amount of time to going that distance to visit your family, and also how much is it going to cost?
It also is important for you to be culturally literate as well as being literate in the language. By this, I mean, if you're starting all your sentences with, well, where I come from, that's a sure sign that you probably won't end up staying here. You need to appreciate the culture that you've moved to, that you're living within, and not constantly be trying to reference back to the culture that you came from. They're different.
Will your personality adapt to the Pura Vida lifestyle here? For instance, serious type A personalities, you might have some problems here.
Tico Time is a real thing. When we first moved here, our landlord came and said, hey, would y'all like to go see the beach? We're in the middle of the mountains. The beach? Yeah, there's a beach down on the river. It's just down the road. Sure. Brandy had some things that she needed to do in the house, so I went ahead went with him. I didn't think anything of it.
Didn't even bring your phone.
Why? I was just going down to the beach and coming back.
3 hours later.
I come back with a guanabana, which is a big soursop, a bag of oranges,
And some tales to tell.
tales to tell, because that was 3 or 4 beers later. We had stopped at the local bar and grill. We had stopped at a friend's house, a person who became a good friend of ours.
And the beach.
We stopped at the beach. And we found ever since then that if we're going someplace and we have a Tico friend with us, it is very unlikely that we're going to one place. We will probably be stopping at 2 or 3 places along the road. Things get done at a different pace.
Another way that Tico Time plays a role in this country is with the expectation of the delivery of goods and services. Sometimes those are factors out of their control. You can't always know exactly when shipments are going to arrive. But if, for instance, you have somebody scheduled to come and clean your pool, even if it's on a weekly basis, they may not show up at the same time every day. They may not even show up on the same day. Many of them will be good at communicating to you when there's a delay, but sometimes not. If you are expecting things to be done by a specific deadline, there's a lot of instances where you will face immense amounts of frustration if you're not willing to just kind of go with the more laid back, responsive, Pura Vida, man.
We'll have lots of examples of this later on when we talk about building our house here in Costa Rica. One of the other things that fits in with this is immediate conveniences here are neither immediate nor convenient. Lots of the shopping that you will do will take place in multiple different stores. You'll find very quickly that you will go to one place to buy bread, another place to buy meat, another place to buy fruits and vegetables, another place to buy spices. You'll end up having a list of all the different places that you go to for different things. It's normal, but it's not fast.
Also, if there's something that you see on the shelf in a store and you think, I may want this, go ahead and buy it right then. We've learned this the hard way multiple times. We're like, I don't know if we really, really want this or need this. And then when we go back to that store, it's gone. And often never to be restocked ever again.
FOMO, fear of missing out, is a real thing here. It's not just a fear, it's a reality. So there's several things in a positive sense will really help you be able to adjust to life in Costa Rica, to be able to live that Pura Vida lifestyle. If you have an income of some kind, that is really positive. Remote work is exceptionally positive. Don't try to come down to Costa Rica and work down here in Costa Rica. It's not allowed unless you already have residency, not just temporary residency. There's enough issues with people here not having enough work. So don't plan to come down here and work within the Costa Rican economy. However, if you have a remote job, that works great.
Or if you have a pension or are drawing on Social Security, something else that you are bringing in from outside of the country. Not only are you not allowed to work as a foreigner until you obtain legal residency, the salaries at which you would be getting if you could work here are not going to be what you were used to from back in your home countries, most likely. Do you have the ability to draw on extra funds when unexpected expenses arise? And they will arise.
Patience. If you have patience, that will help tremendously. Patience is so important in so many different ways. For example, waiting in long lines, such as at banks, post office, government offices, etc., is just a part of life here. If you can stand in a long line and not get perturbed by it, you'll do great. If long lines bother you to a huge extent, that'd be a bad sign.
On the plus side, if you are a senior citizen, you're pregnant, if you have a disability, you get to go to the front of the line. And almost any place, even at like the supermarkets, will often have preferential lines for you to go into. And if a Costa Rican sees you and they think that you should be in one of those lines, they will grab you and tell you, well, you should be standing over here. You've got to go first. You also need patience, depending on where you're living in the country, when it comes to traffic.
Yes.
But this will impact you both in cities as well as through coastal tourist towns, up in the mountains.
You have to remember, Costa Rica is coming along quite well. It's far ahead of where I remember it in the 1980s. But as part of that, you have major construction projects. There's been a major construction road project going on in the San Jose area as long as I've known San Jose.
And we've had one particular one that's been going on since we moved here over 2 years ago. Once it gets completed, it will be great. It will be amazing for travel into the Central Valley from our valley. But right now, it's a headache, and you do not want to take the alternative routes that Google or Waze will suggest for you.
You have lots of accidents on 2-lane roads. Most of the country is 2-lane roads. If you're outside of the Central Valley, and if you're outside of the Inter-American going north from the Central Valley, you're probably going to be on 2-lane roads. When there's an accident, you will be waiting for a while for the accident to be cleared.
Living in a country that has a lot of earthquakes and a lot of rain combined leads to landslides. And these affect the main roads in and around San Jose and through the rest of the country. For instance, if we want to go to San Jose from our valley, we have to go over Cerro de la Muerte. And almost every time that there is sustained amounts of rain that happens, the authorities will preemptively shut down the road, even if there hasn't been a landslide. They will close the road during specific times of the day to prohibit people from going when they think that the terrain is too unstable. So it's appreciated, but it will definitely impact your commute, because if we went the other way to get there, it adds over an hour of additional travel time. The first rainy season we actually moved down here saw record rains. And during that time, at one point or another, every major road that was going out of the Central Valley was closed for some duration of time.
And every road going out of this valley was closed at one time or other. Last but not least, in terms of traffic and having to have patience, is motorcycles. There are a lot of motorcycles in Costa Rica. It's an inexpensive transportation mechanism for a lot of Ticos. Motorcycles don't follow the same rules that the rest of us do. And sadly, that often means that if you hear about an accident here, chances are it probably was with a motorcycle.
luckily, the local population here also understands about these problems. So people tend to have more grace, I think, both while you're sitting in traffic as well as if you're going to be late to something. Tico Time works both ways. It's more acceptable here to be late for things, especially if you're caught in an unavoidable traffic delay due to an accident. Sometimes they're caught in those same delays. Do you have a sense of adventure? I mean, being in traffic isn't very fun, but driving on certain 2-lane roads in the country can definitely
Be an adventure.
be an adventure, that's for sure. Especially if your sense of adventure is directed towards the outdoors and nature. That is what this country is really known for. So if you love surfing, if you love birding, if you like,
Whitewater rafting.
yeah,
If you like zip lining. If you like paddleboarding.
and you like hiking up the sides of volcanoes, many of them that are currently active.
If you have a sense of adventure, particularly a sense of adventure when focused towards things in the outdoors, you will love Costa Rica. But not only is it important that you're able to, that you're adventurous, but you also need to be able to have the ability to live a life that is more in tune and in touch with the climate that you're living in.
For our house, we have it open on either ends. We're in an enclosed area here that has air conditioning. But the rest of the house is pretty much open to the outdoors. We have screens in our bedroom, but our living room, kitchen, dining room area does not, which also means we get some visitors on occasion, whether that be the occasional scorpion or we have bats that come through and help clean up some of the bugs that are attracted to the lights. Or right now we're having lovely visitors from the forest next door in the form of cicadas that come every year.
Not only private homes usually built like this, but that's the way for most things here. Restaurants, grocery stores, hardware stores, etc. Most of these aren't air conditioned, and that's one of the things that you have to have that ability to live in, that living in outdoors, even when you're indoors.
So why don't they use air conditioning here more often?
Air conditioning can be pretty expensive. Electricity can be pretty expensive. So it's inexpensive for low amounts of use, but the more use you have, the more expensive it is. That's something we'll get into more in our videos that we'll do about the cost of living in Costa Rica.
Sounds good. Well, thank you for joining us on another episode, and we'll see you in the next video. So remember to please like and subscribe, share this video, and we'll be back with you next time on Paradise.
Hi there, YouTube. Hope you're enjoying our content. Don't make Max sad, so please like and subscribe to follow us on our adventures.